Hello and welcome back to Nova Scotia and my Victorian fixer-upper, full of potential and problems. If you're new here, I'm Shannon Makes, old house romantic by day, circus artist by night, and I bought this stunning historic house sight unseen in a province I'd never even visited. And we'd been slowly chipping away at the work around here, from the basement to the attic, and most recently a complete overhaul of the backyard, installing a rock wall and properly draining the yard to keep the water out of the house. It was a giant item off our checklist and a huge relief, especially since we'd once again be leaving the house unoccupied while spending the summer working in Norway. But we still had a couple last items to get to before we could jet off to Scandinavia. Whoa, it's fragile.
And Evie.
It's Evie.
Evie and fragile.
Fun. That looks significantly more heavy duty than the Mastercraft we have in the basement for $50.
Yeah, it is. One pump to rule them all. 0.3 horsepower, 115 volt.
So this is our brand new big boy sub pump. It's step one in a 2 to 3 step process to keep our basement dry. We are still waiting for part 2 to come. So instead of installing this, we're gonna start by the other end. We're gonna start by the outside and work our way in, and hopefully by the time we're to the inside, we'll have the other one that's come in the mail. So quick update on where we're at, because so far what we've managed to do is run a line from our water main there all the way up and then over here. There to the other side of the basement. Just on the other side of that wall is our sub pump, so now we've got the connection to the water main, and we're in the process of just trying to start setting up the rest of the piping for it all.
Sump pump. Sump pump.
Tell people what the deal with this one is.
This one doesn't use electricity. It uses water from the city to shoot water this way, and that creates a venturi suction for the water. So you don't need electricity. So this one works even with no power, even when the zombie comes. It's going to be dry.
Jet pump.
Yeah, zombie jet pump.
Okay, freeze. See that pipe right there over Phil's head? Well, that is how the water is getting from our basement to the outside. It's basically a more permanent version of this, and it involved the slightly nerve-wracking process of drilling a hole through the house.
This one's probably good. So this, and that's going to screw in there. Then we can put the cap on. Put that in and start figuring out where we have to pipe stuff, because he has to go all the way up here and then straight shot to outside. So out of the basin, merge together all the way up, and then straight shot out, pitching down slightly.
So one of the questions that I get the most frequently on the channel, besides how old is Canal, how is she so cute, and how did you get started with circus, is how do you have so much time and energy? And I have to say that they both kind of come down to the same thing, which is just making smart eating choices, eating healthy to make sure that I feel good, that I have consistent energy throughout the day, none of those big dips where you feel like you want to take a nap, and also making smart use of how I spend my time feeding myself. And today's sponsor, Hungry Root, ticks both of those boxes for me, because with Hungry Root, it's really easy to eat high quality nutritional food, and it doesn't require a lot of time or effort to do so. So you can just go online to their website, you can fill up your shopping cart yourself whenever you have the time or energy, or if you prefer, you can tell them about your goals and preferences and they will fill your cart with personalized recommendations. Now, I eat pretty much everything, but there are a lot of people in my life that do have various dietary restrictions, so I love that they have filters. You can sort all their recipes by those that are vegan or dairy-free or gluten-free. Anything that you want. It makes it super easy to find meals that everyone can enjoy together. Really takes a lot of stress out of planning group meals. You can also sort by, various nutritional landmarks, cooking time, or even cooking appliance, which is great if you want to get super specific, if you want to find the perfect meal for your new air fryer, let's say. So if this sounds like a service that you would like to try out, you can take advantage of this exclusive offer because for a limited time only, you'll get 40% off of your first box, plus you'll get a free item in every box for life. You can click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code Shannon. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com with code Shannon.
Time to give it a test.
Is it okay?
Doesn't look like anything's leaking.
Okay, unplug the sump pump.
Like electrically speaking?
Yeah. Did it click on? No?
No. Not yet.
Seems like it should have by now. Did nothing?
No.
That's weird. It should have gone by now.
I don't know what to tell you. Unless it's just insanely quiet. Something's happening.
Oh yeah, it's flowing.
Okay, so the on is just super quiet.
I mean, you have to listen for the tick.
I know, I didn't hear it.
Okay. And now, in theory, that should start now because where's the bottom of this? Yeah. Scented. I'm gonna unplug it.
No power. Power's gone out. It's a storm.
Trees have fallen on the branches, on the electrical cables again.
Woo! Nice. And that meant we had one more item we could cross off our list. Ooh, left hand struggles. And now, since I lost all the footage of us putting it together, I'm gonna have to substitute this clip that Phil took to summarize the final system to his father. So wave hello to John through your screens and enjoy some more dulcet Québécois tones.
On a ajouté un régulateur de pression pour descendre de 80 psi à genre 50-60. Changer ça qui était dû à la Finch. On a commencé en 3/4 à la place. Ajouter une valve ici. Ici, on a notre branche qui s'en va à la sump pump à eau. On a une autre branche ici. On s'est rajouté un outlet pour avoir de l'eau dans la cave temporaire. Le lavabo va sûrement s'en aller ici éventuellement. Puis ici, on a rajouté 2 valves pour être capable de fermer l'eau quand on a besoin de travailler le système de chauffage. Puis là, on s'en retourne à Finch parce qu'on n'a pas le temps de changer ça, mais éventuellement, on va continuer en 3/4 jusque là-bas. Puis faire des branches en demi après. Fait que l'eau arrive de là. Elle merge avec le tuyau. Puis ça, c'est notre système. Fait qu'il y a la pompe dans le puits qui s'en va ici avec l'anti-retour. Il y a l'eau qui arrive pour le jet pump. Les deux émergent, puis ils s'en vont. Ils suivent le tuyau. Il est tout nivelé avec une petite pente jusqu'au bout. Fait que là, il va nous rester à sealer ça, remettre l'isolation, puis tout. Mais sinon, le système est fonctionnel, puis pas mal tout installé, là. Dans le puits, en ciment, puis tout. On a même mis... ça, c'est la condensation du système de chauffage. Je l'ai fait aller dans le trou aussi. Puis les 2 déshumidificateurs aussi, on va faire 2 autres trous, puis on va mettre pour que toute l'eau s'en aille à la même place. Là.
Also lost to the sands of time, any and all footage of fixing the leaky furnace. There were many opportunities to pet the corgi during the 12-hour car ride back to Montreal, where I had a very exciting marketplace purchase waiting for me. Now, there's a really fun backstory to how and why we have a bunch of hardwood flooring stacked up in our car, and if you're a patron, you already know, but if you're not, just know that the story will be revealed in good time. Hello friends, I've got a very fun little segment for you. Now this is pretty tightly edited together, and this segment will probably end up in a normal public house video at some point, but many months from now, once the timeline on YouTube catches up with where I'm at in reality, where you're at in reality. One of the perks of being a monthly supporter is that you get very much up-to-date news. So in reality, this actually happened. What you're about to watch, this happened back in May. I originally had filmed a bunch of footage back at the house in Nova Scotia in April, and I cannot find it. It was kind of the exposition to the clip that you're about to see. I'm sure I have it somewhere. I just absolutely can't find it. So basically what that footage was saying was I was sitting at the house and talking about how I just found this listing on Facebook Marketplace for some absolutely gorgeous original 2¼ inch maple flooring, 600 square feet for $200. It had been torn out of an old building in Montreal, then driven about an hour outside of Montreal. This family that is selling it was intending to install it in their house, and then realized that they have 3 absolutely giant dogs, and that if they installed these hardwood floors, their dogs were going to just destroy them. And having met the dogs, I can absolutely concur. So I found this listing while I was in Nova Scotia, and I was searching just the Facebook Marketplace listings in Montreal, knowing that at that point I was going to be back in Montreal within a week or two. So I found this listing and I reached out to them and was like, my goodness, I would absolutely love to have this flooring. Not having a very good vision in my head for exactly how much 600 square feet is. I mean, I can see how much that would cover, but I was having trouble imagining how much space that would take in my room. I was thinking, I have a car, it can fit an entire couch. I can absolutely fit that much hardwood flooring in my cars. Not so much. That is a lot of flooring. So anyway, I will let you watch this clip that has been, edited for your viewing pleasure, and I will catch up with you at the end of all of that.
Right.
Okay, friends, we are the next day already because we were there until 1:30 last night. Well, we got home at 1:30 in the morning because we ended up staying there for a long time, loading the wood into the car, and then eating dinner with this lovely family and having a great old time. And we finished the night off by doing acrobatics in their kitchen with their 11-year-old daughter, who is a gymnast and apparently very into circus and acrobatics. So that was very, very fun. They were just so lovely, and it was very wholesome Quebecois interaction. What can I say? It was a great time. So I didn't film a whole lot of the process out of respect both for their privacy and also because then it was getting very, very late. And now I have a ton of wood. My car is filled with wood. Phil's car is filled with wood. I'll have to go back for another journey because there's actually still even more wood, which on the one hand is a little bit daunting in terms of the thought of how many trips it's going to take to get all that wood up here into my 3rd-story Montreal apartment. And where is all this wood going to live? It is all going to live right here on the floor next to my sewing table. Basically, this part of my room is going to be completely condemned until we go back to Nova Scotia next time, many weeks from now. So say goodbye to all this lovely empty floor space. It is soon going to be filled with lovely hardwoods that are saving me a pretty penny. So let's go downstairs and say hi to Phil and look at all the wood. So many months ago, I'd actually reached out to a fairly local salvage place in Nova Scotia to ask if they carry hardwood flooring and how much they sell it at, and they told me how much they charge per square foot. So I used that number to actually calculate how much money this amount of wood would have cost me if I had bought it salvaged, and it would have been well over $2,000 when I only got it for $200. So this is an absolutely amazing steal, and maybe helps explain some of the lengths that we are going to take this wood and bring it all the way to Nova Scotia. We spent a solid couple hours that morning emptying both my car as well as Phil's, and we decided the fastest and easiest way to get 600 square feet of flooring up 3 stores and then eventually back down and back in the car to take it to Nova Scotia was going to be to tape them into bundles so that they could be carried much more easily.
What you thinking?
This worked really well, and yes, we are taking care to keep the adhesive part off of the wood as much as possible, although in the long run, these are all going to need to be sanded down anyway, so might be a bit of a moot point.
Silly Tucker.
Okay, so we just unloaded so much wood that took us, basically it took us a couple hours to get all that wood out of not only my car, but also Phil's car, because I'm not sure that I said this clearly before, but actually I showed up there by myself in my car, and when it became apparent that one car's worth was not even going to be close to doing the job, I called Phil and I said, hey, would you be able to swing by and load up your car as well? And he did. So we just unloaded both of those cars. Now here, my room is full of wood already, and there is still at least one more carload full. So gonna hop back in the trusty old Matrix, hit the road, and I probably will also not film this run either while we're there, just out of privacy for the family, and also because they are really nice people that we genuinely would like to spend time with. So we will probably be busy spending quality time with them instead of filming for you, but I'm sure you all can understand. So the next time I see you, we will probably be back here unloading even more wood and bringing it up here to then just bring it back down and put it in my car and take it to Nova Scotia at some point in the future. I really am going to need to get a trailer. So this time, you'll notice we're doing something a bit different, and here we're actually sorting the wood by length because we were starting to run out of space in my room to store all this wood, and we needed these bundles to be the most efficient use of space possible. But other than that, the process was more of the same: more tape, more bundles, and more stairs.
Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, but can we just take a second to appreciate how absolutely stunning the grain on this piece of wood is? It is like a finely marbled cut of steak or something to that effect. Like, this is absolutely stunning. Now, obviously, they aren't all like this. This is very much the exception, but oh good grief, it is so pretty. Love it. Today's a very good day in Shannon Makes his book. So yeah, that was the adventure that I had last May. Now I am here in my room back in Montreal after having gone to Norway, and as you can see, it is still there. It is back there. It's a little bit hard to see because it is also covered with all of the amazing and very generous Amazon wish list donations. This is like basically this part of my studio has been condemned for needs to go to Nova Scotia ASAP. So a ton of hardwood and a lot of donations. It is packed to the gills over here, and that's not even actually all of the 600 square feet. That's probably about 400 square feet. The other 200 is actually still in my car, which we left at Phil's father's house. That's at least 3 carloads worth of wood, 3 trips back and forth. So next week, we're finally going to catch up with that circus contract in Norway. We'll check out the show there, we'll learn about what the rhythm of life is like on contract, and we'll visit some of the stunning landscapes of southern Norway. And if we come around and go to the other side, you can see what it looks like. Ooh, the lighting here, we need to change that light bulb.